St. Joseph.
Yeah, and they got rid of them for a reason.
Oh, okay. All right. I'll drop it there.
Larry.
Where's Joanna be? Okay.
Okay, have I done anything in the last 2 years? It seems like
How many of those?
okay.
Mr. Chair, you probably should start pounding the table.
Order in the court.
Hello.
Start the recording. Gentlemen, we have 1 minute.
1 minute.
Yes, I'm gonna go ahead and start recording.
Okay.
Recording in progress.
Please. Oh, who's reading? Who's reading today? Selena's not here?
Oh.
I can do that.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry.
All right.
Well, I think I will.
You got it.
Hang on. Yes.
Okay.
That minute.
15 whole seconds to spare. Get the noise out of the way. There we go. Well, good afternoon. Welcome to the regularly scheduled meeting of the Board of County Road Commissioners for the County of Kalamazoo for January 30th, 2024. Call the meeting to order. The first item, Managing Director, would you please read the remote participation instruction?
This meeting has been provided under Public Act 267 of 1976 as amended, or commonly referred to as the Open Meetings Act. During public comment, participants will have the opportunity to address the board at the beginning of the meeting and at the end of the meeting for non-agenda items. Public comments should be provided at the podium in order to ensure proper audio. Public comments, statements, or questions shall be limited to not more than 3 minutes for each person addressing the board. To provide public comment by those participating by Zoom, use the raise hand feature in the Zoom application. The host will ask you to unmute. For telephone audio, use *9. Use *6 to toggle back and forth between mute and unmute. As you participate in the meeting, your microphone will be placed on mute. The chat feature shall only be used to address any technical issues for public participation.
Thank you very much. Next item would be, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. The goal of the Board of the County Road Commissioners of the County of Kalamazoo is using our expertise, energy, and funds to provide the safest and most convenient road system possible and to contribute economic development and high quality of life throughout the county. Our goal is to maintain a county road system that is safe and convenient for public travel and to manage the roadside environment with a view towards preservation. Okay, next item would be approval of the agenda. Do I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Support.
A motion from Commissioner Boersma with support for approval of the agenda. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor of approval, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
The agenda has been approved. Next item would be approval of minutes for the following meetings. January 16th board meeting and January 16th Ross Township joint meeting. Do I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Support.
I have a motion from Commissioner Dickinson with support from Commissioner Stahauer. Any questions or comments on the minutes? Okay, all those in favor of approval, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Next item would be approval of the payroll and vendor accounts. Do I have a motion on that, please?
So moved. Support.
I have a motion from Commissioner Stahauer, support from Commissioner Boersma for approval of the payroll and vendor accounts. Any questions or comments there? Hearing none, seeing none. All those in favor of approval, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. They have been approved. We've reached the first portion in our meeting where we're open to public comment on non-agenda items. Do we have anyone wishing to address the board at this point in time? Someone come forward. Mr. Thompson. Superintendent.
Supervisor, Randy Thompson with Comstock
Hey, Randy, how are
Township.
you?
You're fine, thank you. What I'm here for today is, over the week of the really cold weather and snow and that we've had, our township received several complaints about some of the stuff that was done. I did reach out to Mark Warden and talk to him about it.
Okay.
I just wanted to bring it to the attention that I found that there's other townships that have similar concerns. And I believe I'm gonna ask at our next supervisors meeting, because Joanna and them usually show up, that we'll have some more discussion on that. But I wanted the board to know that we have had several complaints. I know there's 4 other townships, and 2 of them that could not be here today said I could speak in their behalf, that they have similar concerns, Cooper Township and Kalamazoo Township. Lysanne is here from Richmond, which she'll speak on her own, and I believe Sherry Bell from Oshtemo also. So I just want to make it known. I reached out to Mark. We talked. Bill ended up calling me a day or 2 later on some of the concerns and things we're taking care of. So I know it's a hard job. It's hard to cover everything, and I know the people are doing a pretty decent job at it, but we just have some concerns that we will want to talk about later.
Very good. Thank you for your comments.
Thank you very much.
Anyone else wishing to address the board at this time? Please come forward, sir. Could you identify yourself for name and address? Thank you.
Hi, my name is John Charlie. I live at 6749 East ML Avenue.
Okay.
I live right next to Consumers.
Okay.
So that is partially the problem, is Consumers Energy has tore up my road. You come right outside my house and everything, used to be a nice road and everything. Now there's potholes right outside. There's huge divots from the concrete trucks coming when there was the frost law. We called you guys and they're like, unless we can catch them in the act, can't be anything done. I had video proof of it on my old phone, but they said that wasn't proof enough. You guys had to see it with your own eyes. That's kind of the concern, is that the road has deteriorated a lot since Consumers Energy has been up and down. They were putting that huge electrical substation across from my house and everything. That's a whole nother old deal, but the road is really bad. There are a lot of dead trees also that are hanging over my road very bad. It's one of those things that I've never spoke to anyone about it, but it needs to be addressed, that some of these trees, like in this last ice storm, they were hanging really low. A semi went through and everything and cut a couple branches off. That's not good. Those need to be cut and everything. And one problem we had about 10 years ago was the Kalamazoo County Road Commission. Our tree was splitting in the front yard, and they only took half of it. Mr. Stayhauer over there came out, we discussed it with my mom. My mom wasn't too happy and everything, you know, but it's one of those things that tree has kind of been compromised now. It's rotting from the inside out. It's not doing good. I wish you guys would have took the whole entire thing down when you were first there. You know, a couple other things that I own a lawn care company in Comstock and everything, and I do a lot of people on ML Avenue. You guys had a road grader come by or something, tore up some of my customers' lawns that are very nice. They fertilize it. They pay me good money to take care of it and everything. They were not happy that they have to pay me in the spring for something the road commission came by and did with the road grader. And I'm talking about that deep of some people's lawns, that deep of stuff. Now, I don't know if, and it was really far off and everything, like past mailboxes, you know, and I don't know why that was happening or anything like that, but I'm guessing you probably got some calls, because a couple of my customers said that they were going to call on that. And then I know that this last big storm and everything, I had a couple customers give me a call to see if I could put some mailboxes back up, because the snowplow just demolished the mailboxes. I know you really can't help that too much and everything, but there should be a program or something like that for elderly people that cannot afford to put a new mailbox in. You don't know how many people I mow that are on a fixed income Social Security check or something. They can't afford $50 to put up a new mailbox. It was not their problem if it was in good working order and no rot or anything like that, but the snowplow came by and destroyed it. There needs to be something for those elderly people, because we owe it to them to help them out when they helped us out all these years. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments, sir. Just one item I would mention. several of the things you mentioned there would be very helpful to us. There's a thing called a service request that's available on our website. It's like the trees and so on and so forth, things like that. Those are the things we would like very much to have fed into us so that we can go and take a look at them and see what should be done and what we can do. Just an item of interest there, but thank you very much for your comments.
Thank you.
Do we have anyone else? Commissioner Giz, okay. John's up, okay. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon to you. I have more items than I usually have, but I think they'll all be pretty brief. One, the opioid settlement task force is now assembling. I'm not sure if they've had any meetings yet. If they have, they haven't been at full strength. That should be remedied shortly. The openings closed for applications, I think 2 days ago, maybe 3, probably last Friday. We are going to have another opening for a corporate attorney. We're really sad about that because Angelina Barnes was terrific, and she had every intention of retiring in that job with us. She hasn't told me what it is, but she said, I got an offer I can't refuse, so she's going to depart and we'll be looking. The Avello discount airline things are still good through the end of June. I was premature when I told you that the state was going to approve 4-H vanity plates. They did not get that signed by the governor until, they haven't got it signed yet, so it has to go back and be reprocessed as all the things that were hanging out there at the end of the year. And the last item is the group that I head up, Kalamazoo Citizens for Responsible Government, is meeting in a new location now. We will be meeting on the 12th of February at Michelle's over on Romance Road. I think it's 677 Romance Road in Portage. And our speaker is going to be Brian Long. He shows up almost every February to give us an update on what he saw economically for last year and what he's looking for this year. He's an economics professor at Grand Valley State. And it's worthwhile if you can make it and you're interested in that sort of thing.
And that meeting will be at 8:30 a.m.
Thank you.
I showed up
Yes.
early last time, I know.
Yeah, well, that's okay. Show up early, you can help me put up the
Just like last time.
the screen and the computer and everything else. Anyway, thank
Certainly.
you.
Thank you, John. Liz Ann, please come forward. And welcome to our meeting.
Lisanne Harmo, Richland Township, and I want to thank all of you for what you do. I know it's a thankless job, and I just want to thank you and appreciate all that you do. The reason why I'm here today is the last winter event that we had. Over the last several years, I've expressed concern to the Road Commission. We have a paid-on-call fire department, so our fire department is not manned. I'm very concerned with the quality of the roads and the safety on the roads. And in this last winter event, one of our firefighters was in a car accident on his way to a medical call. Medical calls take up the majority of our calls, and time is of the essence when trying to respond to a medical call. The other concern that I have with the roads is that fire trucks, since COVID has happened, if your fire truck is in a car accident, you can't replace it. It'll take years to replace a fire truck. And those are my largest concerns, is just the safety and being able to respond in emergency situations. So thank you for your time.
Thank you very much for your comments. Do we have anyone else wishing to address the board at this point in time on a non-agenda item? Okay, we'll move forward. Let's see, where are we at? Correspondence. Item A, request receipt of the Michigan Department of Transportation County Act 51 Annual Mileage Certification Report Letter dated January 1st, 2024. Managing Director.
All right, this is part of our annual notice from the state. This is where we have to provide our Act 51 mileage. The board at the, I want to say what December 19th meeting, you already approved those road miles that have been adjusted throughout 2023. So at this point, we are recommending that the board receive the letter and refer it to file.
Thank you very much. Do you have a motion on this one,
So
please?
moved. Support.
I have a motion from Commissioner Dickinson with support from Vice Chair Pulaski on this. Any questions or comments? All those in favor of approving this correspondence, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Has been approved and received. Item A of new business, request approval of the Adobe Road Retention Basin petition and resolution. Managing Director.
All right, our engineering department and the drain commissioner, who I do believe is online, Drain Commissioner Wiersma is participating virtually. But back in 2017, the board approved a preliminary plan extension for Adobe Road. The board might recall we just finished actually an update on hot mix asphalt project on that last year. It is a local road. And then in November 13th of 2018, we had a temporary drainage easement for stormwater runoff that was released by the Drain Commissioner for that establishment under 433 agreement. It is my understanding that we were contacted by the Drain Commissioner's office that there were some water and ponding related issues around the properties along Adobe Road. At the time, the only participating entity named in that 433 agreement was the Road Commission. So what you have before you is actually a petition and a resolution to expand those that are contributing related to the water runoff and issues along Adobe Road. The township does not participate in this particular item, but this board basically would be requesting that the drain office proceed with an expanded drainage assessment area. We don't use this very often, frankly, here at the Road Commission. It is always an option in the toolbox according to state law and the drain code. I know that our team here is able to answer any questions along with the Drain Commissioner, but we are recommending that the board approve the petition and resolution for establishment of the Adobe West Drain as recommended by the Drain Commissioner for maintenance and improvements in Alamo Township for the chair's signature.
Thank you very much. Do we have a motion on this one, please?
So moved.
Support.
We have a motion from Commissioner Boersma, and I'll call support from Commissioner Dickinson for the discussion on this. Questions and comments on this one? Commissioner Boersma.
I take it that this petition is a cost sharing move, that the Road Commission and the adjoining property owners, if this petition were to go through, would then participate in the cost of maintaining this drainage area, rather than just right now the Road Commission being responsible for maintenance of this drainage area. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Commissioner Stewart.
My understanding of 433, they've been used for decades, I would say, from my engineering background. I'm not currently in that development role and review role. My understanding is the 433 agreement was to set in place the lands that are tributary to the drain, which would include the road and adjacent lands. So I'm concerned in the big picture process. If 433 agreements are used today, the language in them valid as a standard document, and then are we capturing what's tributary to the drain, for example, a county road to a pond. I understood this would be a privately managed pond overseen by the Drain Commission. And yes, we are in the terms of the 433 agreement liable for cost for operation and maintenance. We seem to have to, maybe we're going back, maybe we're in proper procedure, maybe we're going back to rectify some procedures that I thought the 433 accomplished. So I'd like some more context here to understand why we're initiating a petition now. I'm not opposed to it. I'm concerned with other developments where we use 43 or have used them. The other point is, yeah, we're one of the parties that incur cost, but We don't get tax base out of this. We don't collect revenue because of this. We're incurring costs we have to spend our transportation funds on. I want that to be respected, that we pay our appropriate share and other parties pay appropriate shares, be it private land or the county or the township. Maybe too many questions all at once.
Well, let's start with the managing director and perhaps go.
Well, I'm going to ask for the aid of Ryan Minkus, our county engineer, as well as Drain Commissioner Wiersma, who I see is on the line. Certainly he can speak from the aspects, if I'm understanding the questions correctly, from the Drain Commission's office standpoint. I think what I'm hearing asked is, how do we ensure that at the time of development that we have all of the adjacent property owners reflective in a 433 drainage agreement, and that the apportionment is, for what may need to take place is properly apportioned throughout all those adjacent properties. And I mean, in terms of saying that, I mean, what are we doing internally as the road commission to ensure that, but what also is the drain office doing as well? So I'm going to start with Jason, which I think he's unmuted himself.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Please go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I implemented a standard that all of our 433 agreements are reviewed by an attorney firm and as well as an engineering firm. In the past, I do not believe they followed that path, but that's why we caught this discrepancy in this 433 agreement. We do own the infrastructure that goes to the pond, but we do not own the pond. And according to the 433 agreement, that's why we're moving forward. We were brought, this pond was brought to our attention due to some downstream impacts by the overflow pipe of that pond that affected landowners adjacent to Eagle, actually. So we moved forward, we did our due diligence, reviewed the 433 agreement, found out it wasn't under our jurisdiction, so I contacted the road commission to petition me to allow me to take this pond, do some construction on the pond, renovate it to alleviate the property owners downstream.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Brian?
The only other thing I'd like to address is what Commissioner Stahauer asked about paying our portion, correct? And in the memo, I did indicate that the township was not going to participate in this. But in conversations I had with the drain commissioner today, he did confirm that the township and the county would also be a part of the district as far as cost sharing.
That's correct.
So my bad on putting that in the memo incorrectly, and I wanted to make sure you guys were aware that that was incorrect.
Good question.
Managing director.
Commissioner, I'm sorry, go ahead, Commissioner Plowski. Did you have a question?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay. Jason, just for everybody's clarification, and thank you for that, my error as well in terms of the county and the township and that apportionment. Can you just help clarify for everyone here, since we don't do this very often, in terms of a petition, is what are the next steps?
You sign a petition, then we go in front of a board of determination. Many supervisors sit on those that don't have interest in the area or the property or could reap benefits of it. We hold up, once that's completed, we move forward. If they say yes, we need to take this pond to renovate the pond, we'll move forward from there. Then we'll get a cost analysis. As far as the apportionment costs, that's usually 15% to the road commission, 10% usually to the county, 10% to the township, and the residents pay the remainder. That's on average. We'll have a hearing for that as well. So if you want to come dispute your apportionment, everybody has a fair chance to.
And Jason, annually, the drain office, we've had this established for some time. You give us an idea of what, because again, there are many of these that we partake in, and you help share for budgeting purposes what we anticipate is our apportionment based on the various drainage assessments throughout the county.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Commissioner Stahauer?
just understanding a little more about 433 and how that's practiced today, maybe, I think I remember in my past, maybe it even started to work towards setting up, well, you'd have the district, but maybe even going as far as to laying out what the potential apportionments would be. Maybe our drain commissioner could clarify if that happens or that's beyond the scope of 433.
Developments get a little tricky because, as you well know, one pond will be created in a site condo development. Then they start expansions. This is where we're running into, I'm working on 5 other sites where this has happened. They've expanded site developments. These agreements weren't correctly written for the expansion. Ponds are draining to other ponds, other properties because they contour the land or contributing to that, and they all need to be captured in that 433 agreement and properly assessed. So every time we get a call, we review the file, and that's how we caught this error in this certain on Adobe Road. Expansion of residential communities and commercial properties growing all over Kalamazoo County. Some of these agreements were written years and years ago. They don't take account for continuing development. So sometimes we have to modify these agreements over time.
Okay, very good.
And just one other comment, obviously Adobe Road, we all know there was an expansion along that area to
Right.
Jason's point. And Jason, my last question and comment really that hopefully you can comment on is, you know, the drain code, you're limited to the amount of dollars that are available for maintenance as well in these drainage districts, correct?
Not on basins, no ma'am.
Okay, so only
That's
with,
unlimited.
go ahead, I'm sorry.
That's, no ma'am, on open ditch drains and such, that is the case, $5,000 lineal mile. Basins are a little bit different. There is no limit.
Okay, thank you for that clarification.
Yep.
Thank you very much, input from all. Any questions or comments beyond?
I just want to say I appreciate the work of the drain office
Absolutely.
with these and our staff.
Yeah.
My questions are in a bigger context to do well. We're maybe correcting some things or adjusting some things. That's good. And either way, we would be a participant in improvements to this drainage pond.
Absolutely.
So thanks.
Okay, thank you. Anything else on this one? Comments from the audience? Okay, all those in favor of approving this retention pond resolution, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign, and it has been approved. Item B, request approval of the Charleston Township Local Road Contract. Managing Director, please.
All right, I'm excited to say that I think this is the second local road contract that we've had before us already here in January. This one is from Charleston Township, so at this time, we are recommending that the board approve the Charleston Township Local Road Contract for the chair's signature.
So move.
Oh, wait, whoa.
Oh.
We need a motion on this one.
So move.
Second?
I have a motion from Commissioner Dickinson with a support from Vice Chair Pulaski. Any further questions or comments on this one? No, moving right along with those. Thank you very much. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Next one would be for Richland Township. Managing Director.
All right, so thank you to Richland Township, Lizanne, I know the Township Supervisor is here in the house. This, again, is a third contract that we have before us. I do want to add, it has been a pleasure, not that it hasn't been with other townships as well, but we did have Marcia Drew in here as well, working with us as we try to have some ideas thrown around in terms of local road contracts and potentially even adding contingency projects should the dollars be available. At this time, Richland Township did not choose to proceed with that contingency approach as our little trial this year, but we do appreciate the contract being here with us today as early as it is. So with that, we recommend that the board approve the Richland Township local road contract for the chair's signature.
Thank you. Motion to approve, please.
So moved. Support.
I have a motion from Chair Commissioner Pulaski. Commissioner Stahauer with support from Commissioner Boersma. Any further questions or comments? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
The Richland Township local road contract has been approved. Item D, request approval of the truck purchase for 1/2 ton. Managing Director.
All right, we do have 2 pickup trucks in our equipment capital outlay plan, in our 5-year plan for this year. We did have budget $80,000 for those. Based on the My Deal purchasing program, they are coming in $99,854.28, which we'll be able to capture those increased costs as we look at the tail end of our budget and other areas this year. These will replace the current pickup trucks as noted in the memorandum to the board. So we are recommending that the board approve the purchase of 2 Ford F-150 regular cab 4x4 pickup trucks from, I'm going to say this, Lunghammer, I think, Lunchhammer Ford of Owasso, located in Owasso, Michigan, through the My Deal State of Michigan Purchasing Program for a total cost of, again, $99,854.28 with the extended warranty.
Thank you very much. A motion on this one, please.
So moved. Support?
I have a motion from Vice Chair Pulaski with support from Commissioner Stayhour for purchase of 2 half-ton pickup trucks. Any questions or comments on this? All those in favor of the purchase, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Has been approved. Item E, request approval of a professional forester bid 2024-02. Managing Director.
All right, this is a very important bid for us, as tree-related service requests are one of the #1 service requests across the county. And those tree service requests come in for those that want trees removed, pruned, and those that do not want trees removed and pruned. And we have been very lucky to have a professional forester bid for many, many years here at the Road Commission. And that allows our superintendent team and others to really rely on the professionals to determine whether or not a tree is dead, dying, whether or not it has imminent danger in falling into the roadway, and all of the things related to tree service requests. We did meet with members of the board. We have a pretty robust roadside vegetation management policy. There is a lot that goes into trees and also understanding the various right-of-way as to who owns the tree in the first place. So a lot goes into this area. From 1990 to 2020, we had the same professional forester, Mike Graham, who retired. We then went out to bid, and with any new items or new individuals, we have a lot of training that gets involved in that. There are mistakes that do occur, and we work very hard in terms of training and looking at ways that we can improve processes. We did go out for bid previously. The last time we bid the professional forester bid was late 2022 for 2023. We decided not to extend, and that's the bid that you have before you today. Right. The individuals who responded to the actual bid are noted on the bid tabulation sheet. True North Consulting Forestry and Wildlife Management was actually an individual who previously worked under our previous forester, does know our business, is familiar with our processes and practices, not to say that there's still a lot of training that has to happen with our contract services and our team here. But looking at that and looking at the costs overall, we are recommending that the board award the professional forester bid number 2024-02 to True North Consulting Forestry and Wildlife Management. They are the low bidder meeting specification with an option to extend annually for up to 3 one-year extensions by the mutual agreement of both parties.
Thank you very much. Do I have a motion on this one, please?
So moved.
Support?
I have a motion from Commissioner Boersma, support from Commissioner Stayhour. Any questions or comments on this one? We've definitely had some issues with our tree service, and hopefully we can find a way to go forward with less issues. Any questions or comments? Commissioner Stayhour.
Tree work, we do lots of it. I didn't review the hours that go in. Maybe it's right in front of me here. Sometimes when we approve bids, we look at more of the bidders as being qualified and potentially used if we get overwhelmed with the work or need to spread it out. In this case, one company or one individual is sufficient.
So in this case, as a professional forester, yes, we do have a tree services contractor as
Right.
well, where we have more than one contractor available to us to actually do the, this is the evaluation portion of it, but tree contract services for those that do the pruning as well as tree removals.
Right.
So in that case, I'm going to say yes, but there is an awful lot of work. I mean, these tree service requests, again, I think we did an estimate years ago related to the dead and dying trees and how to make that determination. There is a lot of work, and we worked really hard to try to, the evaluation portion of it with our professional forester, to really look at that evaluation at the time we have projects outside of service requests, so that we have a systematic approach to doing those. Typically, that's the best time, the holistic approach, trees, signs, et cetera, during projects. But to answer the question directly is, at this time, the professional forester, the bid has timelines associated, et cetera. If that individual needs to, if the company needs to get additional assistance in order to meet our expectations, that's certainly up to them. But we think that the professional forester is, in this capacity, would meet that requirement.
Thank you.
Vice Chair Pulaski.
Just a comment, it's just that we spend a lot of money on trees, and not saying that we shouldn't continue to do so, but it's just important for the public to know that's money that's not being spent on roads. Trees, this is Michigan, if you do nothing, trees will grow, except in Prairie Run, and that's just the fact of it. Trees will not stop growing. That's it.
Just a quick question. How many trees did we have in the last winter event? How many tree calls? Ballpark.
Last winter event, probably about 200.
200 trees. We
At
had
the
to
same
remove from
time, we were
roads.
trying to do winter maintenance.
Right, yeah, I understand, Just, I know we had 30 in the first couple hours, so, okay. All right, very good. All those in favor of approving this, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. It has been approved. We have a new forester. Item F, request approval of a new hire consideration per the employment of relatives policy. Managing Director.
All right, I think this is the second time we've been before the board with something similar, and we did revise our employment of relatives policy, but we want to be very transparent, frankly, and I think this opportunity that's before the board. We do have a policy, understandably so, as it relates to relatives working together, especially when you have an individual that's in a supervisory role and their relative potentially is not. So that could cause potentially a lot of issues throughout the organization, as well as for the individuals themselves, right? There's certainly a high level of scrutiny when you have those folks that are related in that management and road maintenance operator role, in this case that we have before you. Here with us today is Mr. Trevor McClish. His uncle is in a supervisory role, and I will mention that his father also works here at the Road Commission. He is our most senior road maintenance operator, having 32 years. I'd like to think of this request as a succession planning opportunity. We do have a referral program as well for our employees to refer folks that who may be interested in working at the Road Commission. Frankly, I'm going to say that I think it's an honor to have someone refer an individual to the Road Commission who works here. I think that says a lot about our culture and the fact that this is a place that they work and they want others to be here as well. That being said, again, back to transparency, even though our policy does not specifically identify that relationship of supervisory from an uncle to a nephew perspective, we wanted to be very open and transparent with this. Frankly, I am very confident that the individual in this role in the supervisory level, as well as the potential applicant and our whole team here, our whole superintendent and supervisory team, including myself, understand the scrutiny that this will be under for us and are willing to accept it, because this individual does have the qualifications that is a good fit for the Road Commission. So otherwise we wouldn't be here before you today. So that being said, we are recommending that the board authorize the managing director the ability to continue with the hiring of Mr. Trevor McClish as a road maintenance operator, subject to the remaining hiring process. And once again, Mr. McClish is here, and he is certainly more than welcome to come to the podium should the board request that.
Thank you very much. So I have a motion on this, please.
So moved. Second.
Okay, I have a motion from Commissioner Stayhauer with a second from Vice Chair Pulaski. Any questions, comments, or discussions on this one, please? From the audience?
Audience first.
Sure.
Thank you, Chair, for taking a comment from the audience.
Commissioner Gissler? It's always welcome.
Having worked for a long, long time in the pharmaceutical business, and most of that for the Upjohn Company, I want to tell you, I see nothing wrong with nepotism. Thank you.
I would just say we're a government agency and we need to make sure that we're doing the right thing at all times, but with an understanding of it takes everyone is not excited about coming to work for the road commission. And we have someone who is actually wanting to come here and with the qualifications that meet the standards. That's our primary goal. Further comments, please. Vice Chair Pulaski.
Sure, thank you, Chair, thank you for your comments. I'm glad we have this policy, I'm glad we're reviewing it, I continue that we review it every time as we go forward, I will be supporting this, that's all, thank you.
Managing Director, or?
I am going to ask Mr. McClish to come to the podium.
Oh.
Hi, I'm Trevor McClish from Vicksburg, Michigan here. Looking to speak to you about getting a job here at RCKC.
Okay.
So why I've always wanted to work here at the Road Commission. First of all, my dad's been here 30 plus years, and I know the way around the Road Commission just from the way he's always talked about it at home. And I want to step in his footsteps from now until the end. I'm looking to make a career out of myself. I have 2 years, I've been working at this job I have now for about 2 years now. And I've went from everything from dozers, excavators, truck driving, gravel trains, hauling equipment around, all that sorts of stuff. And the way that I hear, and I've also came here, I'm a contractor through here, so I already know my way around the facility. Been plowing snow, I think I've done like a week's worth of plowing snow. And I've got to know a lot of the employees here and the supervisors and the way around. And the way that I look at it is I want to better myself. I have a 1-year-old daughter and looking to get better insurance for her to grow life. And I've always looked into this. Once I started plowing snow for RCKC, I started to really realize I need to step on this before it's too late. This is what I want to do for the rest of my life.
Thank you very much. Do we have any questions for this young man?
Very good, as long as he makes the supervisors happy, sort of.
There you go.
Anyway, that's not an interview question.
Thank you very much for your
Sir.
comments.
Thank you, Trevor.
Thanks.
Managing Director. I'm gonna go so far to say that I think your father, Rick McClish, should be very proud of you being here today. So thank you very much for those kind comments, and I'm sure for your uncle and family as well. It means a lot. It really, really does.
Absolutely.
That's I really appreciate the fact of understanding what this organization does. And I think it's fitting too. I mean, we're not perfect, right? And I think it was great for Trevor to hear some of the feedback from our township partners as well. This is 365 days of the year, 24 hours a day. And I appreciate the fact that you recognize that from your father's work as well. So proud to have Rick McClish here and hopefully proceed with Trevor as well. Thank you.
And we always have room for improvement, and we always have room for the right individuals. Any further questions or comments? Okay, all those in favor of approving this new hire consideration, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. That has been taken care of. Thank you very much. Item G, request approval of the County Road Association CRA Board of Directors ballot. Managing Director, please.
All right, it certainly is up to the board to choose one of the two individuals for the 3-year County Road Association ballot. I'm one of them that's on the ballot this year. So, not sure, yeah. But I will share, Doug Steffen is the other individual from Clinton County. I'm sure he would do well as being a representative for the Southern Association on the County Road Association Board. However, I would like to continue. So that being said, I'd like to recommend that the board approve myself, Joanna Johnson, of the Road Commission of Kalamazoo County for the County Road Association Board of Directors ballot.
Thank you very much. Do we have a motion on this, please?
So moved.
Support.
We have a motion from Commissioner Boersma with support from Vice Chair Pulaski.
No, Commissioner Stayhauer.
Oh, Commissioner
You must
Stayhauer, I'm
sound a lot
sorry.
alike.
You guys do sound a lot alike. I thought I had that one nailed.
Let me repeat that, I'm sorry, who made the motion?
Motion, Boersma. And we did get Stayhauer as a second. Okay.
Thank you.
All right, any questions or comments on this one?
Does this border on nepotism?
Actually, no, but almost. I mean, the statewide CRA is a family as opposed to just the road commissioner of Kalamazoo County.
Mr. Chair.
Vice Chair.
Yep, I can't think of anybody more well qualified and more well deserving of this position than Joanna Johnson.
I second that.
Second?
And I'll third.
Third?
And no disrespect meant for Mr. Steffen here. I am a little biased.
You know, remember, we only get one vote.
Right.
We already
How
won
many,
one. Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah.
I've got my campaign pins going around the 80s.
Okay.
Yeah, right. I'm sure this will be a lot of money spent on this one. Okay, all those in favor of approving the approval of the County Road Association Board of Directors ballot, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. That has been approved. We have now reached the second portion in our agenda where we are open to public comment on non-agenda items. Do we have anyone wishing to address the board at this point in time? Okay, looks like we got everything taken care of earlier. Okay, Managing Director, please.
All right, well, a few items here. Seasonal weight restrictions. Earliest we've put them on in 20 years. They go on tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock a.m. There is quite a few other road agencies in Southwest Michigan that have enacted those. Either they've already enacted or will be going on tomorrow morning. The County Road Association does have a seasonal weight restrictions page that you can go to, and you can see that map across the state. It is in the process of being updated. I feel for the County Road Association. They had a software update, and who knew that we were all going to put seasonal weight restrictions on as early as they are. So they are working on upgrading that website. That being said, I also received notice just before coming into this meeting that the state will also enact the seasonal weight restrictions beginning on Friday. So that press release went out as well. So with that being said, again, the earliest we've placed seasonal weight restrictions, we'll keep monitoring those. And obviously, pending on how our roads react, we will get those off as soon as possible. So a lot of information out there on seasonal weight restrictions. With that being said, gravel roads, for anybody who lives on a gravel road, we're working on them. They're difficult. That's the best way I can describe it. We do monitor service requests, so it's important that we get those in, but I can tell you that our team is working on them to the degree that we can. Gravel roads are ever changing with a different freeze-thaw cycle or with weather, but I want the public to know that we totally know what the condition of our gravel roads are right now, and we're doing what we can. And it's not just us, not that that matters to anybody else, but we are all working on this. I know this is something that all of our transportation agencies are feeling right now with the various weather impacts. So we're working on gravel roads as well. Just real quick on winter maintenance activities. Certainly, our Engineering and Public Relations Director, Mark Warden, did certainly keep me in the know of his conversation with Randy related to winter maintenance. And I think, Randy, you may have reached out to the townships as noted. I think the more urban townships. We've already looked at all those service requests as well. I will ask again for any of our townships that you route those individuals to the road commission so that we can log those in. We've reviewed those. I've reviewed them all by each of the townships. And certainly our team here, they're all here listening. We're working very hard on that in terms of winter maintenance. I'm not sure what the answer is. I'm just going to be very honest. I don't know if we have expectation gap. We certainly have worked with Lizanne as it relates to, and not just Lizanne, frankly, the Richland Township, the fire concerns. I don't know what the answer completely is, but I want you to know you have a great team here truly listening. I don't know that we can give the exact answer that you want, but when weather affects us, we are out there working. That's the best way I can describe it. All right, I have our friends here from, at least one from 19th Street, Dave. NCRS, my apologies, was going to be at this meeting to talk about some of their thoughts on 19th Street, is my understanding, and my apologies, we should try to get notice out that they should be here at our next meeting. So that is what I'm anticipating as well. Again, this is a road that we have closed in Cooper Township. And we were trying to look for other grants or opportunities to help fund a potential project. So again, we hope to have them here at our next meeting. So certainly we did send out information to those that we had contact of on 19th Street, and hopefully more than welcome to participate, whether it be in person or virtually at our next meeting. Project information meetings are getting set up. I want to say I think we have 3 of 7 that we at least have dates and location, but we are working on that. These are for our larger projects for next year. So stay tuned on that. We don't have anything yet on our website for those project informational meetings, but they will be forthcoming. I also wanted to make mention, I did send it out just prior to this meeting when I received it, is the Michigan Department of Transportation has just launched a usage charges survey to gauge public interest. I thought this was kind of interesting on the heels of the resolution that we passed in terms of looking at alternative funding for how we fund our transportation across the state of Michigan. So starting January 30th through March 1st, Michigan residents will have the opportunity to weigh in on the way we all pay for roads, bridges, and other transportation infrastructure in the state through a new road usage charges survey. So I did send that out to our township partners as well. If you could please get that out to your residents. If you have a newsletter, we'll share it as well on our platforms, but it'll be interesting to see what comes out of this. I did touch base with the County Road Association. We weren't aware that something like this was coming out. But the good news is at least there's some conversation. I haven't opened up the survey yet myself on is there a funding tool that the public is more apt to prefer. So that's out there, very interesting. We'll see what happens with that. So I guess we'll find out sometime after March 1st. I think those are the main items that I have, and with that, I'll turn it back over to the board.
Thank you very much. We'll move into Commissioner's time. Commissioner Dickinson, please.
No report, but I did want to say thank you to Managing Director for meeting me in the cold blizzard in regards to the article. And thank you for taking the photos. It was a cold day, so thank you.
Very good. Okay, Commissioner Boersma.
Thank you, Chair. The Kalamazoo County Environmental Health Advisory Council will meet next in February, so I don't have a report from there. I was able to attend the Westwood Neighborhood Association Zoom meeting on January 17th. I believe they meet quarterly, and so there were 5 or 6 residents on that meeting. The main road commission related issues were related to traffic calming in the Westwood neighborhood. They expressed concerns about the Nichols Road traffic between Grand Prairie and Ravine, and going downhill there, and the paved shoulder non-motorized path bike route. Paved shoulder, I guess, is what we would call it, and how to keep it clear from snow and debris, so pedestrians and bicyclists don't have to go out into the travel portion to ride there in the wintertime. I discussed with them service requests and how to submit them through the website. I also discussed the traffic calming policy and the need for a petition to get additional voices involved. I believe, if memory serves, they have submitted a traffic calming petition in the past, maybe. They never did?
No, nothing official.
Okay. So I told them that there's a policy, it requires a petition from the residents,
And the township.
and then the township gets involved, and we all sit at the table and discuss, solutions. So, we'll see where that goes. So, excuse me. And the last thing is, I was wondering if we would get a report today on how things are going over on 26th Street. So,
Sure, go ahead.
Commissioner, I can start us off. 30 days from today is the clock is ticking, where we potentially start our move-in. At this time, we are still on time to do so. There is a lot of activity happening. There's a lot of finish work happening out at the site. We hope to have the board on a tour on Friday of this week, time permitting, of course, and also to give you an update. We are having, I forgot to mention, I apologize in my managing director comments, that we are having a public open house. I think we've shipped that invitation out all over the place. So on March 21st from 4 to 7 p.m., it is a public open house, so the public is welcome. So looking forward to that. We have our celebration committee that has been meeting to plan that event, as well as a moving committee that has been planning our move. And there is a lot to move. Just think about the equipment, and not only just the equipment, inventory, parts, files, etc. We are doing this all in-house ourselves. I just really appreciate all the effort from our team. But I am going to ask either Travis or Rusty to come to the podium for any other updates related to the 26th Street construction.
All right, well, I think Joanna mostly hit the high points, so I guess I could just answer questions, but I got a couple things I wanted to mention. First of all, the Phase 1 generator, it's real, it showed up, it's in place.
It's hooked up?
Not commissioned, it's hooked up. I think it's got a few gallons of fuel in it, but next week we're actually gonna commission both generators and get them in service.
Okay, and this one was what, 3 months late?
Oh, more than 3 months late. Yeah, I think it's closer to a year late.
Oh, year late
Yeah.
from, okay.
Yeah, I mean, we were hoping to have it when we took occupancy back in August, right? And it should have been well before that, so. That was the generator with the tank issue, so. Other than that, we're getting down to final stages. We're getting professional cleaning services in, starting to prep areas, just to be able to turn them over. We're balancing our heating systems right now, so that's kind of key. Getting some final inspections on electrical. So probably a key area for us for move-in is to be able to move our inventory. And we just got word here yesterday that potentially we could be moving our inventory 2 weeks before we move. So that will be very key for us to be able to get that moved and organized and free up our time on the actual move of other items, so.
When you say inventory now, the salt, we're just gonna pull as we use it, right?
Right, so the salt inventory, it's already depleted here, sand, really all of our outdoor items.
Is already
items
depleted?
Are already depleted or
Great.
moved to the new
Okay.
facility.
Super.
Really, it's our stockroom items that are left inventory-wise to move.
Okay.
How's the spray boom for the?
Well, you'll get to see it in operation
Okay.
Friday. I
I'm-
hate to
I'm
give away all
not
my
gonna be
secrets
there.
there, but I'm gonna give you a
Okay.
little hint, it does work.
Okay.
It moves back and forth and it will
Shazam.
spray. We are working on some nozzle sizing right now for it. We're actually purchasing a new pump for it. The pump we had, we've had some issues with it. So we've done some updates there with a different style pump. Not really just for the spray boom, but the whole system in general, so. But the spray boom does function, operate, and it's ready to spray.
so is the township giving us a certificate of occupancy, or at least maybe
For the area of the stockroom? Is that
or at least,
a temporary CFO?
yeah,
They are not, and that's not the plan. The conversation with the township's been through the building inspector.
okay.
And we, the road commission, really wanted occupancy of the stockroom just to be able to move those, what is it, 900 some items?
Right.
Sure.
Right, it's gonna take us some time to do that. So the building inspector was on site the other day talking with Walbridge. So Walbridge asked the question if we could move ahead of time. They recommended that we move the stockroom, just so they can see the items that are in there, where they're placed, to make sure they're comfortable with it. The only piece that they asked that we not do is move any hazardous materials into that area, which potentially we don't have any. I think batteries came up as maybe one item, but, so that's where we're at. Really, there is no occupancy of phase 2 in phases. It's all gonna be turned over at once.
Very good. Any other managing director?
Sorry, I forgot to mention this. I'm going to give a plug and a shout out to MRC Putting Abilities to Work. For those that don't know, MRC has an art studio in downtown Kalamazoo. And MRC Artworks offers unique and affordable art created by individuals with disabilities, providing an outlet to achieve creative self-expression in a way that promotes personal growth, dignity, and self-confidence. I was out at their studio yesterday, so some of the art that you will see in our new facility was actually done by those that from MRC Industries. It was very rewarding, I'll say, to be there. There were many folks who were very proud of their artwork and the fact that we were purchasing some for our facility. So you hopefully we'll have some of MRC industry folks actually come out to the open house as well to see their artwork on the wall. So I'm going to give a shout out that if anybody's interested, there's a QR code here and you actually can go downtown and see their art. It's ever changing. It was amazing, and I'm glad to have some of this showcased in our new facility.
Wonderful. Any other questions for Travis or Joanna? Okay, thank you very much, Travis.
Are you on time?
Oh, that's right, we're still on yours. Thanks for bringing me back to where we're at. Commissioner Stayhauer.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate our opportunity to have a joint meeting with Ross Township last week. We covered subjects on their mind in much more detail then as a joint meeting. I appreciate the prep staff did for that and the work that will follow up with it. Also, I went to Comstock Township solo, so they didn't pick on me too much then, and maybe it was before the snowstorm. And, I did not have any winter storm calls, but I did drive roads out in my vicinity, so I kind of think I understand how they look. So Westwood, some Platts and Cooper, some of the mile roads in Cooper Township, and then I come into the city and a little bit more. But I intentionally went out several times, and I do want to comment, part of the reporting we get is staff hours, and my jaw kind of dropped. I know we have a bigger staff, or loosely I could say fully staffed or budgeted, but I'm seeing as high as 160 hours. I didn't like what I saw on the roads. I know our crews were out working. I'm not happy with how it all came out. My wife even said, Larry, it's bad on some of those roads. This was days or a week after as the thaw was occurring. It's that snow-packed ice. How do you pull it off? You could salt and on and on. So I'm glad that I'm sure staff, our director will be interacting with the supervisors, dealing with what happened. You know, could we have done anything different? Should we apply more? On and on it can go. So thanks to all for their patience, and staff, thanks for your work. That's a lot of hours. And thank you for doing that. Joint meetings, more are coming up, and that's a good forum for townships to interact with us. Especially if you tell us ahead some of your concerns, and staff can come all the more prepared, and we can grapple with them together some. Looking forward to the tour on February 2, and I sent an email in to our director and chair, but I will plan to be away March 26, regular board meeting time. I still take spring break, or my wife does, so I get to do. So. Thank you. That's all right now.
All right. Vice Chair Pulaski.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Managing Director, on the MRC thing. I've worked with that group in the past. They do tremendous work. It is very important in our community, and the rewarding work that the people do there is beyond compare. So thank you for considering them when you were out and about buying artwork. I want to thank Drain Commissioner Wiersma for being here, supervisors from Richland, Oshtemo, and Comstock Township for being here as well. Congratulations to our managing director on the hopefully victory on the CRA board. Safety, I just want to remind Trevor, safety's first. It's not a slogan. We want you to get home to that 1-year-old daughter, so that's important. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you all for the attendance today and for the comments. This is probably one of the best meetings we've had in a long time with attendance and people bringing things forward that we hope we can help with. We go meeting after meeting and not hear anything, and quite frankly, that's not good for us. We need to hear what's going on and what the concerns are. I'm excited to see that our joint meetings are starting to pile up. We already have more scheduled than we conducted all last year. So we're still looking for more opportunity with the other, I believe, 11 townships. I think we're 1 and 3. Is that the count? One completed, 3 scheduled?
I believe that's correct.
Okay, yep, so we have 11 more townships that can jump on. And then the only other thing, we've got the meeting at a review of the new facility with a tour, which we do regularly, and we'll do that on Friday. A week from Monday, we've got the CRA Southwest Regional Committee, and that's Berrien County? Okay. That's pretty much it. Managing Director.
I'm sorry, just for clarification on the joint meetings, we have, the next one right now is Comstock Township with Oshtemo scheduled, Richland, and Waukesha.
Oh,
Schoolcraft too.
So 4.
Schoolcraft as well?
Yep, February 13th.
Oh, that's right.
It's on my
Yeah.
calendar.
Okay, well, I apologize, I missed it in my report, so thank you for being conscious of that. That's great, so we'll have 6 already on the book, 1 completed and the rest on the books, that would be
And
great.
we did 3 last year.
Yeah, I do want to, oh, sorry, no, go ahead, you go first.
Just back on the roads and stuff. I just came from a conference in Muskegon. And let me tell you, with the thaw cycle, there's potholes everywhere. It is not unique to Kalamazoo County. So I'll end there.
Well, you know what, I wasn't going to, but I'm going to. I know it's 4:05. You know, we have 2 of our superintendents who were on call during this last winter event. One being Rusty McLean, as well as Joe Peckford. I think you guys were tail end, right? Both of you guys together. And I would like our operations director, Travis Bartholomew, impromptu here, but for our whole team, to really talk about winter maintenance. I don't know what the answer is. Again, you think you already heard that from my comments here, but and then, you know, taking into account Commissioner Stahauer's comments as well. And frankly, we all drove around, and sometimes we compare ourselves to others as well throughout the county. We do have a new team here, but that to me is not relevant to the type of precipitation and what we had, as well as chasing trees. So I don't know what the answer is, but it does, I would be remiss to not say that it does bother me that there are, you know, feedback in terms of, you know, negative towards our team and the work that we have done and tried to do during the winter maintenance activity. To Commissioner Stahauer's point, not lack of hours, because we were out on the road. I mean, there's no question there. And then sometimes I've heard folks say, well, it's because management doesn't allow us to use salt, or it's the salt sand, or we're not putting enough down, and we want bare roads like the highway, and you know, all that comes at a cost. So understanding, as Commissioner Brennan read, first thing, our mission statement, which is safety, that is no question about it, whether you're in a fire truck or you're in a vehicle or if you're riding your bike. So I just want our, you know, operations director, we all take this very seriously. It is, we live and breathe it. And I am going to ask him to comment on the last winter activity.
Well, let me work backwards, because Bill just shared, because we do now have the numbers for the last snow event. And it was a long snow event, right? It went on almost 2 weeks. It was a $600,000 bill. Okay, which, you know, in the last couple of years, we've spent about $1.2 million for the whole winter season, right? We spent $600,000 in this 2-week period. Our operators are working 80 hours a week, right? That's like double the hours, right? I mean, the time they spent out in the poor conditions, right? This is not just up and down the highway. These guys are working in the worst conditions possible, can't see day and night. It's frustrating for us as much as it is for the public and the townships. because we want to do a good job also, right? I mean, that's what we're here to do. We want to get the work done safely, go home to our families, enjoy it, right? So, it's a tough one for us to swallow. You know, it's the details of what we do. We really don't make progress, and I know the board's heard this many times, but we don't make progress until the storm stops. And when the storm stops, you gotta give us at least 24 hours, right, to make any progress, and then we're limited with tools in the toolbox, right? I mean, when you take a warm road and you turn it that cold, that fast, that precipitation bonds so well, we can't afford to put enough salt on it. Environmentally, we couldn't put enough salt on it to do any good. And then as we're trying to do all this, it continues to snow and blow, and everything we did 2 hours ago looks like we haven't been there. It's just a tough road. We would love to turn the snow machine on, tell it when to turn off, give us 24 hours, and we'll look like we know what we're doing. But it doesn't always work out that way. So, is there maybe questions I can help with?
In my case, some of the mile roads I drive, they're local, not primary. I'm also on some primary, but they got plowed. But yeah, we went from warm, then wet snow on that, then extremely cold, prolonged, and then shifting back to warm. So you got that snowpack or whatever your language would be. On our local roads or plat roads, you know, that became probably as much as 3 inches, you know, typically 2 probably at least. And you're driving a Vibe or my Escape, you get thrown around and a fair bit by that, you know, the ruts and whatnot as it's thawing. But how do you guys work on that stage of the storm? It's thawing, you got that dense snowpack on the roads, they get rutted, on and on. Just describe how, from
Sure.
operations
How do you get to the point where we're cleaned up, right? We get that snowpack off the roads, right? Well, it's like any other snow event. We start with the highest level of priorities, right? Level 1s and level 2s.
Yeah.
Once we get those cleared off, and to do that is getting the conditions correct, right? We need some sun, we need a little bit of heat, right? And then we couple that with proper timing and proper application rates of the right de-icing material. We start to break through that pack. It's a slow process because ice is, you know, when it's that thick, it's hard to melt it when it's below freezing. So we can just continuously apply every few hours material, and what loosens up, we call it fluff up, right? It loosens up, we plow it off, and then we'll apply some more material. Honestly, we can't do that everywhere. You get in the residential areas, there's just too many miles to put that much salt on and make continuous trips. Our $600,000 would turn into $1 million real quick, just in one snow event, let alone we don't have the staff to do it, right? So, honestly, we depend on Mother Nature for a lot of it. The sun comes out and it can do more work in 4 hours than we can do in 12. But we need to prepare Mother Nature to do her job, and anything we can do to start to bear those roads up, to thin that ice pack as much as we can before the sun comes out, it puts us time ahead. So I don't have a real good answer, Commissioner Stayhauer, on how we can get to that point on all the roads, other than continuous plowing, continuous sanding, salting. But again, we're limited on the amount we can do. You know, we're getting low volume roads. It's more hills, curves, and intersections.
Sure.
That's not, I don't see anything we're doing different than City of Kalamazoo or City of Grand Rapids. I think we're doing a great job, and I keep up the good work.
We have a question in the back chair.
Oh.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Come on up.
So, it's,
Travis, you go ahead, and Travis will repeat the question for you. Go ahead.
so my question is, I live on ML11, and I've always understood that is a back road for I-94 if it's closed between exit like 80 and 82 or 85 or whatever, right in there. You guys moved to 26th Street. I was out plowing just as much as you guys. I own a lawn care company. ML Avenue didn't get a single plow truck touched down from 26th Street to 35th Street within a 12-hour period, and we had 5 inches of snow. My biggest concern is that last storm was one of the worst experiences I had on ML Avenue. I understand you guys are busy, but I'm just wondering I count that as a major road with a lot of other people in Comstock Township trying to get places. Why was that not taken care of immediately like other roads?
Yeah, thank you. So I think in essence, the question is ML Avenue from 26th Street to 35th Street, why wasn't it taken care of in a timely manner? It's maybe a relief road for I-94.
Yeah.
It is not the emergency route for
it is not.
I-94. It is not. 35th Street, MN, and N Avenue are the emergency routes. Not that it's not cut through, especially with GPS. Nowadays, people are taking alternate routes. ML Avenue is a primary road. It's a level 2 road for us. So it does get plowed on a regular basis. During a snow event, it would at least get plowed twice in a 12-hour period. Obviously, we have GPS data that would support that. But we're back to 10 minutes, an hour, or 2 hours after the storm. You can't even tell we've been there, right? So really, we don't make that progress until the event has stopped.
Did you have another comment?
I just passed a plow truck during that storm, first 12-hour period, twice with his plow not down and no salt. That was my biggest concern.
And so another good question, right, is why the plow isn't down and the driver's driving? Well, we have assigned routes for our drivers, and they don't all start at our facility. So what we don't want to do is have the driver of the route putting de-icer material down and then another driver 10 minutes later plowing it off the road because they think they're helping. So the driver you see without having the plow down is heading somewhere farther out versus plowing it.
Yeah, all of our routes are GPS guided.
Thank you.
Okay.
So,
Very good.
one question from me, and I'll
Okay.
shut up.
We're beating this one quite hard.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just, there was a comment made by the supervisor from Richland Township about emergency service. When we get calls, we make exceptions for emergency calls.
Right,
Is that
so let me back up. That's a good question, Commissioner Borsma. During this last snow event, I was actually trying to keep track on the weekend myself, and we were well over 100 active alert calls just for the weekend alone. That's not the 2-week period, but just over the course of those couple days. We are getting the same calls for the same types of emergencies that we would see our fire departments get at times, right? We're responding to our emergencies also, but we're willing to work and partner with our fire departments and our emergency response officials. If there's something out there that we need to assist with, it's conversation through 911 dispatch, right? That fire department needs to call 911 dispatch to get us on the route that they're going. We have no idea. But to be fair to us in our emergency, we can't put our fire out in 10 minutes. It takes us 12 hours after the storm stops. So that's where we all need to learn to work together. And it's probably going to take some more communication and talking between the other emergency agencies and the road commissions so they know our emergencies and how we can assist them.
I'm going to add to that. We were on the Emergency Operations Center calls, so a lot of the fire chiefs and folks are speaking to that.
Too.
I think it would be very prudent for us to meet with the fire chiefs around Kalamazoo County to continuously try to ensure that we're all working together and to understand our role and their role and how we can partner.
That's an excellent idea.
Rusty had a comment.
Yeah, so actually, Commissioner Borsma and Joanna beat me to both talking points that I was going to speak to. But as far as our routes, just a rough estimate. So even if we were fully staffed with 30 road maintenance operators, we have roughly 126 snow routes, if you will, with our turn-by-turn navigations. When you topple that on top of all of the active alert calls that came in as well, you can imagine it takes a while to get over everything. I was just going to encourage again, if anyone does have any type of issue to reach out to dispatch. They can put in a call through Active Alert or put in those service requests, and we can check when a truck has been over a route. If they had their plow down, if they were spreading material, all that is tracked through our GPS system.
And Active Alert is 911.
Correct.
Okay. Anything else? Okay, now I'm ready for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
So moved. Or John, did you have another comment?
Yeah, it was just triggered by something that's been said here recently, and that was, I'm not sure who from RCKC was at the last supervisors meeting, but Jeff Troyer, the head of our consolidated dispatch, talked.
Right.
And said when I-94 is shut down to the point where they want to route people off and on whatever the alternate is, that works only so far because everybody's got GPS in their car.
Yep.
Yep.
And the crowd will get on that alternate, and then they'll, the routing from their own GPS system will say, okay, don't go there, go out and further around or whatever.
Yeah, there's a lot of traffic on this route.
About that.
Yeah, sure. Okay, thank you. Okay, all those in favor of adjournment, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We stand adjourned, thank you.